Today on the Justice Court, the plaintiff, Okpaje Oluwafisayo, is suing a fashion designer for the refund of deposit made for a bridal gown. The defendant, Temitope, claims the plaintiff could not make a choice of fabric for the gown before the wedding, and the fabric seller is not willing to make a refund.
All rise. Court in session. Honorable Judge Fumi Asaolu presiding. Please be seated. Your Honor, this case is between Oluwatishayo and Daramola. Party sworn on oath.
Thank you, Akin.
You're welcome.
Okpaje Oluwatishayo, you are the plaintiff and you brought Daramola Temitope to this court.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you tell me what transpired? What happened?
Okay.
Why are you here?
Tax fashion. Temitope has been my fashion designer. I met her in 2015, and since then I've been patronizing her. In December 2017, I got her engaged to make my wedding dress, which was supposed to hold on April 2018. So first week in January, we completed the transaction that the wedding dress was going to go for 95,000 with aside other attire, the trad wears, the flower girls wear. So we were in the process
I don't understand.
Oh,
The cost of sewing.
the cost of sewing,
material
and sewing for the wedding dress alone was agreed to be 95,000. Aside for the trad wears
The bridal
and the
train.
bridal train, she was going to do everything. So for the bridal train, for the wedding dress, based on the church I attend, she's supposed to be ready latest ending of March for inspection and all of those. So I got her engaged, and first week in January, I made a payment, an advance payment, because what we agreed was that she should source for the material. So I got her engaged with 50,000, that, okay, go ahead and source for the material. So once she's done, then the whole process, then I'll balance her with the remaining 45 aside the other dress she was going to make for me. So I was going back and forth with her. She didn't get the material on time. As at late February, I prompted her that I am supposed to have this wedding dress latest March, latest 31st March, ending of March. And as of February, you've not even come back to me to say, okay, you've gotten the material, not to talk of, okay, let's start sewing. So it's middle of March, I've still not gotten material from her. She kept on telling me that the vendor said she was going to get back to her, that the vendor was supposed to get back to her and all of that. So eventually, in March, I couldn't get, because she was delaying, and there's a protocol that, as I said, first March, I'm supposed to get the wedding dress ready for inspection and all of that. So I had to, one of my aunties had to come in to avoid disappointment and all of that, and ordered me a wedding dress. Because she actually has delayed, and the contract, there was no way she could meet up. She herself testified to it that the wedding dress is supposed to be ready on time for inspection and all of those. So after the wedding, I didn't contact her till I think August or September, telling her that, okay, what happened to the fund? Aside the wedding dress she sold for me, I was supposed to pay for the trad wear, the bridal train wears, and one of my aunties that she sold for. I did this transaction separately. I would have netted off that, okay, since I've paid you 50,000 and you didn't meet up with the wedding dress, probably I should remove the 50,000 from the other dress I was supposed to pay you. I didn't do that. I paid all of those ones separately, which was even above the initial 50,000, thinking that, okay, because we had the relationship, that since you didn't meet up with the wedding dress, of course, the next thing for you to do is to refund my money back. So we've been on this since January 2018 till this moment. In February 2019, I chatted her again that, tell me that what is going on. At least all this, I've been patient enough since January 2018. I didn't get wedding dress as I agreed with you. I didn't get my money. She said I should be patient. That the vendor said she was not going to return the money. That the vendor is saying, I don't know the vendor. That the vendor is saying that I should get...
What's the role of the vendor?
I think the vendor was the one she was sourcing the material from. That the vendor is saying that she should take fabrics. And I'm saying, it's not as if, number one, it's not as if I'm planning to get married again. What will I use the material for? So she has been on that. Lately, I think when I gave birth in March 2019. So in April, I just contacted her. Tell me, this wedding that we're talking about, now I've given birth. You've not given me my money. That what is going on? At least, even if it's 5,000 every month, you would have completed this fund. I don't like arguing with people because of money. I've been on this because we have a relationship, and I won't want money to make us have undue disagreement that will cause us not to have a relationship anymore. She promised that she was going to pay something out of it. And I think maybe August 2019, after a lot of plead, I had to report her to one of my colleagues because we are about 4 in my office that we used to patronize her very well because she knows her and she still contacted her. I had to talk to her that, please help me speak with Temi. She should at least try to do something about this fund. I understand all of those points that vendor is not returning the money. But what would you have me done in this case? So we've been on that. Around September 2019, she sent 10,000 naira out of the 50,000 naira. And since then, I've not heard anything from her anymore. Each time I ask her, is it that she insults me on WhatsApp or call me names or all manners of things? Since I didn't chat her, I didn't do anything. Not until probably October this 2020 that I just decided, okay, let me get the Justice Court involved in this.
Okay. So, Temi, what happened?
Thank you. Like she rightly said, was a colleague of hers that referred her to me, and she's been sewing for a long time. So she came to meet me that she wanted to sew a wedding dress and all of that, and I told her that I don't make wedding dresses, but I would do it for her because it's the same way of making outfit that we can make wedding dresses. I sourced my fabric from Yaba. I'm very familiar with Yaba. They don't sell bridal clothes in Yaba. So another fellow designer referred me to Island, to Eko. And so I started looking for fabrics for her. She made payment. I still have all the charts till today. I didn't delete anyone. She made payment, and I went to the market. I made deposit so that the person can source for fabric from me.
You made deposits?
Yes, ma'am.
You gave the person sample of what you want?
No, I'm supposed to get samples for her to make a choice of the kind of fabric she will want for the style. So we are supposed to make, if you want the person that is selling fabric to get you what you want, you have to give them money to say, okay, help me source for material. Okay. This is what I want to buy. This is the style she wants to buy. So while
How much did you deposit?
I gave the person 40,000 naira.
40?
Yes, ma'am. Okay, so when I gave the person 40,000 naira, now what the person said was that the kind of fabric we wanted to buy, as the money she paid, might not get us the rich. I can't open the picture. I will have shown you the wedding dress that she said she wanted. And I told her I was going to charge her. Sorry, ma. I'm trying to see if I can open it. But I told her I was going to charge her some, but she said no, that she can't pay for it, that she'll pay 135 for the bridal trainer, trad, and all of that. So when I deposited that money, I sent picture to Fisayo in February 11th. She told me she didn't like any one of that. I had to go to other places. I went as far, I went to tell you show. I was going to places, sending her pictures.
Pictures she told of what?
Me the fabrics.
My fabrics, different fabrics.
Yes.
Okay.
And she said she didn't like any one of it, of the fabric I was sending to her. So I said, okay, what we do is that I've spoken to the person I gave money to, since I've given her money. She should help me contact those people they buy from Aba and other places to help us check if they can actually get something that is similar to what she wants, since she's not liking any of the ones I sent to her. So the person said, okay, I should give her time, because since she doesn't have it in her store, and we have checked around, she still does not like the fabric, that we have to give her time. So while we're doing that, yes, she gave me money for the other stuffs, which I delivered to her with no issue. So when the whole thing ended, she now asked me that it was like a month after. It was not even in April that she told me that she wasn't interested again, that she go ahead with the other ones. I have the chat. I should go ahead with the other ones and just forget about the wedding dress. And I said, okay, then I'm going to get the money back from the vendor. And when I spoke to the person, they said they don't refund money. That what they can do is for her to pick another fabric. And I told her that, come, this thing, I don't sell fabric. Where I buy...
From the onset?
I don't sell fabric. Even till now, if my customers should... I just did a bridal train job. They give me money. I go to the market, pay people who are going to get the fabric, allow them send me the customer's choice. They pick their choice. I go there to pick. I'm not a fabric seller. And at some point, I even asked her if there's a way she could get the fabric so that I can sew. She said she can't do that she's busy, that she's always going to work. So now you're asking me to pay you back the money. And because of the relationship that we had, I told her, okay, what I'm going to do is that if the person is not ready to refund, if I have another job in that regard, I would pay you back if the customer pays me. Now, I do not sew wedding dresses. I sew reception dresses. I sew little train and all of that. And she knows. So, and I told her, I said, come, I've not seen anybody that is going to sew wedding. And you don't expect me to go and pick material. Or what I can do is, okay, if you pick fabric from the person, maybe I can see someone that is going to sell. She told me she doesn't want to know anything about fabric. She doesn't want to, all she wants is the money. And I said, I can't be going back and forth to Ireland. My workplace is, I'm always busy. So while we're doing that, and I felt, okay, what I would do is that maybe I'll be paying her in bits. And once I will know that is bad debt. But the way she was going about it, I have this thing, when I was telling her that, okay, let me give you the supplier's number.
The plaintiff alleges she did not get a wedding dress she paid for and her deposit for the dress has not been refunded. The defendant claims she did not hold on to the deposit as it was meant for the purchase of the fabric. The plaintiff did not find a suitable fabric among the samples presented to her. The fabric seller is not willing to refund the deposit and Temitope is in the middle of all of this. The plaintiff wants the Justice Court to intervene in this matter.
So from the onset, you are aware that she does not sell fabrics?
I know she does not sell fabrics. She does not sell fabrics.
But did she explain to you that you were going to make deposits?
Yes.
To get fabrics from those people?
No. She said we agreed on the wedding dress. And I'm to make deposits for the wedding dress she's going to sew for me. Because the wedding dress is with the fabrics and his own charge.
She didn't explain to you the procedure by which she wanted to obtain the fabrics?
She didn't tell me the procedure. The only thing she told me was that, okay, I'll make a deposit of 50,000 so that the vendor could source for material. That I was going to make a deposit. I was the one who said, okay, I'll make a deposit of 50,000. She didn't tell me any amount, that she's going to source for material. Where she's going to source for material, she didn't disclose that to me. And already I've sent her a picture of what I want and the fabrics that I want, the material that I want to sew the style.
Okay, but over time she was reverting to you and you didn't like what she was forwarding to you?
No, she only got back to me in February. That was about like a month after payments.
Is that why you rejected the fabric?
No, that was not why I rejected the fabrics. I rejected the fabric because I don't like the fabric.
That's what I said. I
don't like the fabrics. And it was not as if she has purchased the fabric. She was just showing me a sample. Okay, that should I get this? And I said, I don't like it.
And that's what she said too. She made deposits. Pending when you pick your choice, then you pay the balance. I believe the two of you should have made the fabric seller a party to this suit.
Ma, I want to read something else that I sent to her. Okay, as at 10th of January, I said, she said, I appreciate your efforts. Okay, ma, sorry, ma. So I will start from where we made I told her wedding dress 95, reception 40, tradition year to decide, little bride times 10,000 times 2, that's 20,000. Okay, so she said she wanted the wedding dress to be 90,000, both reception and wedding 130. So I said, okay, that I would, I said, okay, Fisayo, I sincerely want you to look very good and refer people. Let's make everything 150 with your trad, regardless of the style. So she said, I appreciate your effort. I will call you in the evening so we can talk. So I now said, okay, I've spoken to my vendor yesterday about the fabric. She said before she will start sourcing, we have to commit some funds because people will say that is what they want and not pick it. So I told her I will inform you. It can take a month or more to get something close and really nice. I'm referring to the white one. And she said, okay, that she wants ivory color, that she will transfer 50,000 naira to me the following day. This was 2018.
And that was January. Because I actually committed
So
early.
it seems to miss one point. When I asked you now, you denied that she informed you about the vendor and the procedure. And she just proved to me now that you are aware. She carried you along. You gave your consent too. So you know the money is not with her.
No. What we agreed was, okay, the money for the wedding dress. I didn't, okay, fine. She told me she was going to source for material. But she didn't tell me that she was going to make a deposit with the supplier.
Can you read it again?
Okay.
Pay attention.
I spoke with my vendor yesterday about the fabric. She said before she will start sourcing, we have to commit some funds because some people will say what they want and not pick it. So I told her I will inform you. And it will take a month or more to get something close and really nice. I'm referring to the white one. And she said, okay, that she wants ivory color and she will transfer 50,000 naira to me the following day.
Okay. I want you to take it and give it to her. Let her have a look at it. To refresh her memory. Can you remember the conversation now? You do. Take it back to her. You gave your consent before she handed over that money to make that deposit. And besides, it's not like the fabric seller just got that deposit and didn't do anything either. You were informed that it might take a month and more, which is what she read, which is exactly what happened. Then, thirdly, along the line, they were actually sending fabrics to you. You know she does not sell fabrics, so you knew where the fabrics were coming in. Unfortunately, you couldn't get your choice until you eventually got married. You've paid 10,000 naira out of the money.
Yes.
You know, you gave her the money. But the bottom line is the fabric seller that should be liable.
Sure.
So where is the fabric seller?
Okay, so there is a tradition on the island. When you pay for something, they won't give you cash back. They would exchange the fabric.
Did you explain that to her?
I did. I have the charts. I have it.
That was after the whole thing.
But you said you didn't want.
And that was after the whole thing.
That shouldn't have been after.
That was after the whole
You
thing.
should have explained that to her before she deposited the money with you. Yes, that's the way it ought to be. If you're at fault, I'll tell you. If you're at fault, I'll tell you.
Okay.
She has the right to know. You don't sell.
Yes.
You are the one she knows. You are the one that knows the fabric sellers. I could exonerate you because you were carrying her along on every step. But on this, you did not. I ought to have told her from the onset. So the way she's after you now is the way you ought to go after the fabric seller. But now, you are in that line of business, so you are the only one that can get the fabric from them. You are the one that knows them as well.
I'm sorry, ma.
What's that?
And again, she didn't tell me she was going to source for the material at Island. The way we had the conversation was as if maybe she has a vendor, a standard vendor that she uses at all times. So I don't know that she's sourcing for the vendor at Eco Market because actually I know how it works in the Eco Market.
You know how it works there?
I know how it works in the Eco Market, but she never disclosed.
But you knew she was going to source from there?
No, I don't.
Okay. You should have told her.
She's aware. I have it. I have where.
Okay, let me have it.
Okay, so in October 16, 2019. So when we were talking, we had a conversation where I told her that I told you I wasn't refunded the money. Till now, I still have like 30K with the person. You sounded like I borrowed this money from you and refused to pay back. The money wasn't sent to this person a week and you requested for it back. It was more than a month. Which Igbo market seller refunds such? I've not said I'm not refunding, but look at it from a business side. If I'm refunding the money the client used to get, I used in getting fabric from the market, how will I make profit? If you want a fabric, that is easier and faster. But since you said you want the funds, I will pay it. The person only sells bridal items, and I seldom have bridal jobs for now. That is why it has been hard to retrieve the fabric back and get money. She now said, I've pleaded with you severally. We don't have to get to the extent of creating sins. We are matured. And I said, creating sins, really? You have been a good person. That is why I'm being honest. If you want the seller's number, I will give it to you. God saves me, I've not collected the fabric. She now said, the person was one of your supplier, which is the source of your business. You must have utilized it. The person disappointed, and he or she should refund or you should utilize it. And she now said, I don't get it. We have been on this thing since April 2018. From a business side, somebody cannot be holding on to money without you supplying or providing service. And I said, we are not talking about professional market seller. We are talking about local sellers. Please ask people. That was when she now mentioned, because I could remember it was a call. She now mentioned that it was as if the person supplied any fabric. You even said you go to a co-market. So I'm wondering why the story is changing now. She was the one that she was the one that mentioned it, because I could see it in the chat.
Okay, that was very close to the wedding. Tell me, when you said the other supplier disappointed you, that probably you will go to a co-market. And I said, don't bother, because my auntie has intervened. That was what we said.
Anyway, the bottom line is, while you were reading from your phone, the conversation you had, I realized you already accepted to repay her.
Yes.
And that's why you started
paying back. Yes.
So we just go back to that. When do you want to set off the balance? How do you want to pay her?
Well, I was...
it's obvious we are going to make the payment by installments from what you said. So let me know when. How much do you want to pay at what time until you set everything up?
I'll pay her this, but what I'm saying is that now I'm going to lose on both ends because I'm not going to get the fabric. I don't even need it.
You already accepted. That's what happened. By the time I realized you've accepted, you were going to repay her. There's nothing else for me to do. You already told her, I'm going to pay you. And you took a step further. You've made part payments. And that's probably what empowered her to even approach this court.
Ma, the reason why I accepted to pay her back is because I didn't want it to be the cause of why we'll fight. If I can't get the fabric, you said you don't want another fabric. I don't have any other choice. So at some point, that was why I even stopped paying her, because I felt she was trying to bully me. Because you knew we had a relationship. That was why you're insisting that. She was telling me she doesn't want the number. She has not even spoken to the vendor once. You don't want to talk to me. But it's your money.
You're the one that approved the vendor. You approve. You're the one that knows the vendor. She doesn't. Like I said, when and how much and when? How do you want to offset the balance?
I'll pay till April.
Oh, you pay up everything by April. Is that what you are saying? Or you start paying from April?
No, I'll pay it in April.
You pay everything by April.
After the break, Judge Fumi rules.
This is my judgment. The defendant is to pay the plaintiff the sum of 40,000 naira by ending of April 2021. Judgment for the plaintiff.
All rise.
Have you been cheated or have a dispute and want justice? Don't take laws into your hands. Log on to www.thejusticecourt.com and submit your case.